Increase your emotional intelligence to ward off anxiety and improve your focus. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, cognitive neuroscientist. Okay, welcome back to this video where I will share with you how you can decrease your anxiety and increase your focus by improving your emotional intelligence. And as I was thinking about this video, I realized I've been studying emotional intelligence from Daniel Goleman, who wrote a book on emotional intelligence back in 1995 when my mentor, Dr. Judy Duchan, introduced me to this topic. But what I didn't realize is it literally was when the topic was coming out. So I thought that was pretty cool when I dug into it. Okay, so let's talk about it, because the reason that we feel anxious and that it's difficult to focus and be motivated so many times is because we are not tapped into our own emotional intelligence. And it has 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are: number 1, self-awareness; number 2, self-management, which has everything to do with neurological regulation that shows up as self-regulation. So I'm going to dig in there for a little while. Then number 3 is social awareness. And lastly, number 4 is relationship management. So we have to be able to do all those things all the time to be able to ward off anxiety, feel our best, and to be able to be on our best A game. So let's dig in. Self-awareness, what is it? I'm going to give you a real quick one-liner, quick and dirty here so we can move on to number 2, self-management. Self-awareness is being able to know who you truly are and then having the courage to go into the world and be that version. And so when you go into the world and you're acting as your true authentic self, you are that version by recognizing your patterns that might throw you off that game and might pull you back into a worse version of yourself, disintegration as I call it. That's knowing thyself to master thyself. So being able to go, okay, today I am not doing all the things I typically do to stay the best version of myself. Or if something comes out of your mouth and you realize that's just something I learned from my mom. I always joke in my family that we're all becoming my mom. My youngest daughter's like, I said something that you say, Mom. I forget what it was. And I'm like, I say that because my mom said it. We're all becoming grandma. But we all don't have to become grandma, because some of the stuff grandma says shouldn't be 3 generations down by now. So I try to catch those things. And when they come out, I try to reframe them so that I'm breaking these generational patterns of anxiety and of not being my true authentic self. And so self-awareness and understanding some of your programming and your patterns so you can break them leads to number 2, which is self-management. Self-management is self-regulation. Self-regulation comes from healthy neurological regulation. So let me stop there for a second. Neurological regulation is using that beautiful optimal brain pattern in the middle, the one at medium speed that hums and it flows, and it allows you to show up as the less anxious, more motivated, focused person. When you are not regulated, when you're dysregulated neurologically, which leads to poor self-regulation, your brain's cranking up here, creating anxiety, creating throwing darts at the wall, irritability, anger, lack of motivation, hypervigilance. You're all over the place, very fast brain speed. And simultaneously, or you're using this slow brain speed. You feel overwhelmed, you feel fatigued, you feel off your game, you feel like you can't handle stuff. That's a dysregulated pattern, the pendulum effect, as I call it. The pendulum will swing out as far to one direction as it does to the other side. So the goal is to create neurological regulation in the middle so that you can stay in this beautiful brain pattern and be able to self-regulate. So what does self-regulation include? It includes controlling your impulses, to say something, to go on social media, to not do your work and take a play day because you feel like it, It is controlling those impulses and changing your reactions to intentional responses. So if somebody miffs you, you don't get mad. You just realize it's not even worth it, and you can control your response. And if you want one quick suggestion on how to control a brain tip on how to control your reaction and make it a response, you can start by not doing anything for 5 seconds. 5 seconds pause gives you enough time that you don't blurt out the thing that you want to do. You don't hit the wall like you want to. You don't do the things that you would naturally default to. It gives you enough pause that then you can choose again. So count to 5 in your head, literally walk away and count to 5 and come back and respond intentionally before something flies out. That's a really good way to control your responses. So self-management is also about adaptability. It's about transparency. I show up here in these videos being the transparent version of myself. This is me. You like me, great. You don't, this is still me. I can't be a different version of myself. But along with transparency comes discernment. And I'm always trying to teach my kids about discernment. Discernment means that you think about and you share the pieces of yourself that are appropriate to share with other people at a time that's appropriate. So I don't verbally vomit everything that's going on with me. I'm transparent. I am who I am. But at the same time, I can choose to use discernment in who I tell what when. I encourage you to do that. But that shows emotional intelligence, the ability to self-regulate. And back in the day, I was a verbal vomit machine where everything about everything would come out of this brain to whomever would listen. But since then, I have transparency with discernment. Also then being able to be adaptable and to go with the flow. When things come at me, I'm able to pivot on a dime and not get too upset about it. Of course, I have a plan for my day, but my plan never goes as I want it to. And it goes in a way that I can follow and I can flow with. And that is really, really important. So that is self-regulation, being able to keep yourself together and being able to do what you need to do in the moments that you need to do it, which leads to social awareness. Social awareness is about empathy. Empathy means you can understand what other people are going through and you can show up as the best version of your true, authentic self using your really sharp self-regulation skills to be able to be there for people or to connect with them in a really, truly authentic way. And that is such a beautiful thing when you're able to do that. It means you can enjoy yourself in interactions. Instead of being guarded and struggling with social anxiety, you can just be the real you because you know that you are the real you, and the real you will find other people who appreciate the real you. That's why I'm always giving people the suggestion of joining groups of like-minded people. And they're not going to be the same, but they're going to be like-minded, and that's a tribe. That's a cool place to show up, and people that can appreciate you for the things that you like and that you enjoy and the real true version of yourself. If you're in your family and your family dynamics are good ones, that means your family is seeing you for the real you. If your family dynamics are struggled or if they are not good, that means your family's not seeing you for the real you, especially if you're different, especially if you're the black sheep like this girl. And if you're the black sheep and you're different from them, they see themselves and they see the other people like them, but they can't see you because you're different, and they don't know how to because they don't have the emotional intelligence. You don't have to be mad at people that don't have the emotional intelligence. You just have to understand their capacity is smaller than you want yours to be. That's why you take the transformational journey, to be able to increase your emotional intelligence capacity so that you can be the best version of yourself. And when you are, you have less anxiety and more focus, and it's amazing. But it's empathy. So understanding what other people are going through, where other people are at. When you build empathy, you build your emotional intelligence in terms of your social awareness. You can read the room, you can read people, you can meet people where they are in their lives and not be offended by it. I've had this conversation a couple times this week where, one of my clients would say, it's really hard for me to interact with those people in my family because they're so different than me. And I said, them being different is a good thing, but if it's different and it's really difficult for you, you don't want to cut your family off. You want to meet them where they are and understand they're at a different place that you're at. But you can also make those meetings brief so that they stay healthy for you and they stay positive for everybody. So you can make that choice for yourself. That's discernment too. Okay, moving on to social awareness leads you to relationship management. And I already started talking about it. When you have all of these skills, self-awareness, self-regulation, and social awareness, now you can manage your relationships in a really healthy way. What you can do is you can be there for a person. If they're mad, you can be there in the room with them while they're mad and not be mad too. And you can make the decision to walk out of the room, get your energy back in check, regulate yourself, manage yourself, so that you can stay in that positive version. You can manage the conflict that shows up in relationships. You can manage the high highs that show up in relationships. You can be there for people, and more importantly, always be there for yourself. So emotional intelligence is where it's at if you want to decrease your anxiety and improve your focus. Now, how do you do it? This is how you do it. You get your journal out. I encourage everybody to get a journal. Get a leather one or get a pleather one. They have them on Amazon, or you can get them at Etsy. I'm sure you can get them anywhere. I have a million journals. You get your journal out and you reflect. And when you reflect in your journal, you're going to learn some of the patterns that you're using, some of the patterns the people in your life are using, and how you can make those patterns click and come together instead of butting heads. Manage your relationships to have a better life. It's about connection. What you also can do is ask people for feedback, but here's the caveat, but you have to ask for feedback from a person with high emotional intelligence. So if you don't have any of those people in your life, then you probably have to hire one, which leads to coaching. When you get a coach who has high emotional intelligence, they can reflect back to you things that you can't see about yourself, which helps you to increase your self-awareness, which helps you to regulate yourself and manage yourself, which helps you to increase your social awareness, which helps you to have better relationships, and your everything gets better, and your anxiety goes down, and your focus and your motivation goes up. So you can either try to do that yourself in your journal through reflection, ask somebody else for feedback, but make sure they're emotionally mature, or get a coach. And that's what we do at drtrishleigh.com. That's what I do in terms of home neurofeedback and coaching. I use brain training to help people improve their brain's performance. And then we do coaching to do exactly what I'm talking about there. And then I've also hired some coaches that are coming on with me so that I have brain rewire coaches that are able to be that emotionally intelligent person who's not only emotionally intelligent, but highly trained in everything that I talk about here, so they can help you become that best version of yourself through coaching. And if that doesn't feel good to you, find somebody who feels good to you. I always have a coach, because my coach tells me the things that I can't see or I don't want to hear or that I need to do, and they keep me accountable. And that's why I keep going back for more. It becomes enjoyable when you see the value in it. Actually, it's fun if you engage in the process. So, okay, if you're looking for help on your journey, please reach out to me, drtrishleigh.com. I have digital programs to help you increase your emotional intelligence. And then, of course, me and my team, we're here for you. Okay, until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.